Another woke activist judge is panicking after President Trump has issued a major order. He has invoked the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 in order to get these TDA gang members out of our country. Now let's start here.
It's the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. It's a centuries-old law that would give the president sweeping authority to deport certain undocumented migrants. It's meant to be used during wartime. What President Trump says he wants to use it for is to deport migrants were associated with the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. This law has only been used 3 times previously during the World Wars and during the Japanese internment era during World War II.
Yeah, so this is a huge step in the right direction for President Trump. He's literally taking action on what he promised he would do. Once again, people, he's putting America first. Unlike Joe Biden, who put America last, that led to tragedies like Lincoln Riley being murdered by a TDA gang member. Guys, the name of the act speaks for itself. Alien Enemies Act. TDA is an enemy of the United States because they wreak havoc. However, I guess when it comes to Democrats and the ACLU, they don't see it that way because the judge has already blocked this order.
Do you see the legal machinery working very quickly after the president signed this proclamation? Only a few hours ago, the judge had already blocked its use from deporting 5 specific migrants that the administration had been targeting. What he has done now is expanded that to include all undocumented migrants who are being held in custody for whom this proclamation could apply. And he said that it was necessary to move very quickly here because, according to the plaintiffs in this case, some of the planes had already been loaded and ready to go to deport these people outside of the United States. And so this is on hold now for 14 days, and a hearing has been scheduled for later this month.
So just imagine that. You have these groups, ACLU to be exact, that are asking the courts to stop President Trump from deporting gang members who are illegal aliens in our country who have been committing crimes and murders. How do they justify that? How do they explain that? So all I'm trying to say here, guys, is this legal fight is another example of how the system is stacked against American safety. While the left cries about so-called rights for illegal migrants, the real victims are law-abiding citizens suffering from fear and violence in their own communities. And that's why Democrats are going to continue to lose. Now let's listen to a Democrat donor actually expose the truth in regards to this entire topic, how he felt that he was lied to about immigration.
I campaigned for Harris. I don't know her that well. In fact, I really don't know her at all. I thought if you asked me before the campaign, I'd say I did, and I clearly don't. And I think among the biggest things that I missed, I was taking Biden and the government's data. There's no massive increase in illegal immigration. The border's secure. It's not that bad. The government data showed like 3 or 4 weeks afterwards, after the election, it was the largest increase in illegal since the 1930s. And the second part of it was it did put downward pressure on black and Latino wages. The evidence is there. And we scoffed at it. We didn't just say, you got a good point. We got to take, and we scoffed at it. And it's a huge problem. I go to Gristedes every morning to get the papers and buy whatever I got to eat for the day. And I talk to a lot of people on the way. And there's a guy, an immigrant from the Philippines, and he voted for Trump because of that. He said, my family and I we work like hell. We're U.S. citizens. And you're telling me if I break the law, you're going to give me special favors? I mean, I'm not anti-immigrant at all. I don't agree with what he was saying exactly, but he voted for Trump. And I'm not sure he was happy voting for Trump.
I know a lot of people like that.
Now, here's a picture of the judge that blocked President Trump's proclamation here. He goes by the name of James Bossberg, probably butchered it, U.S. District Judge in D.C., which is interesting. What I found that really stood out to me in this article is this. Pay attention. The chief judge in the District Court of Columbia said he heard that, quote, flights are actively departing and directed U.S. officials to have planes in the air carrying migrants returned to the United States, the outlet reported. So wait a minute. We're already spending money sending them. Now you want the plane to turn around and they're going to end up getting deported. Everybody knows this. You're just delaying the inevitable. Quote, any plane containing these folks that is going to take off or is in the air needs to be returned to the United States. However, that is accomplished. Make sure it's complied with immediately. Now, this temporary ruling will put a 14-day restraining order on the use of this wartime act, which the Trump administration hopes to use to deport any migrant it identifies as a gang member without following normal criminal and immigration channels, meaning let's get these people out of here ASAP, skip all the red tape, right? That's exactly what it allows Trump to do. And I just want to highlight how crazy this judge really is. Here's what Scott Jennings had to say on this issue. Prepare for the next 80-20 issue. Democrats passionately arguing for the return of Venezuelan gang members to spite Trump. And of course, Scott Jennings called it because the New York Attorney General, Letitia James, just put this up. Invoking the Alien Enemies Act, a centuries-old wartime law with a dark history, will fuel more chaos and fear across the nation. We will use every tool at our disposal to fight back against the Trump administration and protect the rights of immigrant communities. If that doesn't tell you, Democrats, what's wrong with your party, I don't know what is. Why did she not say protect the rights of immigrant communities and our American citizens? And just so we're clear, this type of order would allow the Trump administration to expedite these deportations so they can remove known threats instead of allowing them to linger and commit further crimes. Because remember, they cannot control what Denver decides to do if the illegal migrant is in the custody of Denver law enforcement, right? We've seen that whole mix up where they don't even allow the ICE agents to actually go to the local jail to pick up these illegal migrants. They don't allow that. So this was another way around all that to get them out of the country. Now, here is MSDNC's perspective on all this.
What should we expect from the hearing, and why is this such an important ruling?
So the Alien Enemies Act is, as you say, a 1789 or 98 federal law that allows the federal government to deport people without due process. And it's significant because it's only been invoked 3 times in the United States history, and by its terms, it's only supposed to apply in cases of war or invasion. And the administration is appearing to be poised to make the outlandish claim that the presence of unauthorized individuals in the United States constitutes an invasion from Venezuela. This is an outlandish assertion of power. It reeks of racism and xenophobia, and it would allow the federal government to, again, throw these people out of the country with no process whatsoever. I think the federal judge recognized that the administration was gearing up to do this and potentially do it without judicial blessing, in which case it might be too late to actually get these people back into the country. And so he ordered the federal government to pause, knock it off, until he had the time to actually evaluate the merits of the legal claims, which seem quite strong.
Okay, well, everything that she said was definitely a lie. And what I mean by that is this. It's not outlandish for the Trump administration to consider what happened over the past 4 years an invasion, okay? Especially when these TDA gang members were committing crimes in American cities. What they don't understand is this is a fight for America's future. There is no country without borders. Everybody knows that, especially President Trump. That's why he's exercising every legal strategy or tool at his disposal to get this job done and get them out of here. But we know what the left's going to do. Cry foul, say that it's racism and that he's being authoritarian. But the problem with that message is the results say otherwise. That majority of Americans support this move. They do not want these people in our country wreaking havoc. Can I share a quick story about the show? We do this Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, and the secret behind our success is one thing: me getting quality sleep. You see, a good night's sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Poor sleep affects everything, right? Your mood, your health, your energy levels, and your focus. This is why I use a product called Momentous Sleep. It's a combination of ingredients that is designed to help me get deep sleep, relax, and support cognitive function. And it's convenient. Comes in a pouch, right, that you could take 30 minutes right before going to bed, which is what I do. It helps me sleep great at night. And by the way, it is NSF certified. What does that mean for you? No harmful additives. It's trusted by pro athletes, and it's just science-backed ingredients. So head over to livemomentous.com, use promo code DeVory and get 20% off your order so you can wake up in the morning feeling refreshed and ready to win the day. Now, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, put out this statement, quote, "Tonight, a D.C. trial judge supported TDA terrorists over the safety of Americans. TDA is represented by the ACLU." Can you believe that? This order disregards well-established authority regarding President Trump's power, and it puts the public and law enforcement at risk. the Department of Justice is undeterred in its efforts to work with the White House, the Department of Homeland Security, and all of our partners to stop this invasion and make America safe again. I guarantee if they did a survey of Americans, overwhelmingly they would say that the last 4 years was an invasion. Now, out of all of the issues that Democrats could disagree with Trump on, this should be at the bottom of the list. In fact, we should be able to find common ground on this issue because it has hurt everyday Americans. Think of Lincoln Riley and her family and many others. These are not stand-up citizens, okay? These are evil individuals who their sole purpose in life is to commit crimes and murder people, especially in America. Now, if that doesn't make you upset and that doesn't scream for the Democratic Party being out of touch, I don't know what is. Which brings me to my question of this video. What do you think about this judge blocking this order from President Trump? I mean, he was appointed by President Obama. I wonder if Obama has anything to say about this. Should the judge actually go visit the family, Lincoln Riley, and explain himself? Why is he allowing these gang members to stay in this country? I'm just so curious. I want to know what your perspective is in the comment section below. Now, I'm definitely frustrated over this story, but you know who's probably more frustrated than me? Hakeem Jeffries. Because yesterday, President Trump scored a massive victory once that funding bill was approved in the Senate. And he didn't have nice words for Chuck Schumer. So if you missed out on that story and more, all you have to do is click on that video because it's coming up right now.